It's still on fire today. Put that there out of frame.
So you've been to Minnesota before?
Yes, I've been to Minneapolis quite a bit. I played Minneapolis, played the Guthrie before.
Okay.
Played the Fitzgerald at St. Paul. Played the Acme Comedy Club. I know. It was
All the issues
in flux.
with that, potentially.
I know.
You are good.
Just trying
Cool.
to.
You guys ready?
All right.
John, you want to kick us off?
Sure. Everybody good to go?
Yeah, I'm
All
good.
right, here we go.
Sound good?
All right, 3, 2, 1. Hey everybody, John and Katie with CW23, and today we are very excited to have comedian, actor, director, basically a little bit of everything, Mike Birbiglia with us right now, and we're talking about the film Don't Think Twice. And you produced, acted in, wrote, did everything.
First of all, we have
What's up with that?
to acknowledge the tuxedos. to
Yeah.
begin
well,
with.
yeah,
People have no idea why you're in these tuxedo shirts, and it's an homage to the film.
yes, the commune.
Our improv group, the Commune, at one point in the film, wears these tuxedos, and it's a bit of a sad moment.
Well, and also, like, you guys, the whole commune is, everybody's kind of doing well these days.
Yeah.
We think the commune 2 might be something that
Yeah,
you
it's
want to
you
look
guys.
at. Look at,
Yeah.
So, I don't know, something to think about.
Trying it out.
I think the Commune 2 is not the best name.
That's true.
It's gonna be Commune V2
Especially for improv people.
or
Yeah.
Commune
we gotta
2.0.
we gotta think on our feet a little bit.
Yeah.
So,
We'll get back to you
we'll
on
come back to that at the end of the interview.
Yeah, we absolutely loved the film.
Thanks.
One of my favorite things, we walked right out of the movie and I said I absolutely loved this cast. One of my favorite parts about it was that every single character was relatable.
Aw,
That was
thanks.
I said that to him. I said this was my favorite part about it. Every single character, good or bad qualities, you've experienced something like them. Was that important to you while you were
That
writing
was
this?
that was definitely the goal. I mean, there were early drafts of the film. I probably wrote 10 or 12 drafts, and early on, my producer Ira Glass, who you might know from This American Life, he would just he's tough. He's a tough nut. He would just be like, Mike, it's just not a movie. It's not. I don't get it. I don't understand why you're working on this. And I was like, Ira, it's the big chill set in the world of an improv theater. And he was like, well, if that's what it is, then the characters have to be more different from each other. And so that was really my task with an ensemble film of 6 characters. How do I make their arcs very specific? So thanks for saying that.
And I just want to make one side note. I think I related best to you because you're
My
you were
character,
36
Miles.
I shouldn't say you. That's
a
true.
good thing.
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
well, no. You were 36 in the film.
Yes.
Your character. I'm 37.
Yes.
Just living in the basement
Yes.
on a little bed.
And he,
it's great.
and there's a moment where he hooks up with this woman who leaves the apartment, and her reasoning is, "You're like 40."
Yeah.
Yep.
He's like, "I just turned 30."
Yeah, exactly. I mean,
Like 40. I just turned 36.
I can relate so much to that. I'm like, I'm only 37. Come on.
Yeah.
Like, I got 3 more years, people. All right, so the next thing I want to make a comment about is Rotten Tomatoes.
Yes.
Come on.
Come on.
100%.
Come on.
What's up with that?
For now.
Giving this
Come
film
after us,
100%.
critics. I dare you.
So,
Mar our perfect record.
yeah,
No,
exactly. Who's gonna be
it's
the jerk?
So far, so good. But
Yeah. What does that mean
yeah.
to you, just having the critics loving this film?
What it means is, it's more likely people come see it. With a film like this, it's made with so much heart. It's like not a little bit of money and a lot of heart. About 100 people with crew and cast that worked on it, and everybody's sort of working for their minimum and putting their most into it. And so with critics saying that kind of stuff, it helps us, make another one.
Yeah.
Because Sleepwalk, people like Sleepwalk, I was able to make Don't Think Twice. If Don't Think people like it, then I'll be able to make a third one. So you got to go to the Uptown. That's where it'll be.
It'll be the commute too.
Oh, yeah,
That's
absolutely.
by the way, that's a beautiful theater you got there, the Uptown.
do.
Thank you. We'll take credit for
You
that.
guys, you guys are ushers there, right? That's what these outfits are for.
Sorry, do you need the flashlight? Here. That's my job.
Sleepwalk with Me, my first movie actually was the premiere film at the Uptown reopening
Very cool.
in 2012. Yeah.
Nice.
That's great. So you
Pretty
got
cool.
Minnesota roots a little bit?
Oh, I have Minnesota roots. Oh, deep roots.
Nice.
I love it here. I love the Guthrie. I love Acme Comedy Club. keep it alive, sign the petitions, it's a great town. It's a smart bunch of folks. I don't know why you guys are so far from other towns.
We just like to keep it kind of keeping people out.
I didn't really have anything to do with that one.
You guys just moved it like an hour and a half closer to Chicago.
Like a big trailer.
Yeah, like a
we'll see.
huge trailer. Get a big flatbed truck.
Okay. We'll talk to some people.
The way that
Make a note of that.
Just one more thing that we're going to
The way
work
that
on.
you drive those houses.
Yeah.
But just put Minneapolis on the back of one of those trucks.
We'll start with the Acme, and then we'll.
Yeah. Start small. Don't
go
jump
ahead.
into it.
Exactly.
But eventually move it closer to
One step at a
civilization.
time here. Come on.
You guys are borderline Alaska. Like
Well, temperature-wise in the wintertime, yes.
it's really far.
Yeah, you're here at a good time.
But I love it here. I mean, we did a sneak preview screening at Uptown last night, and the questions are very glass half empty. The first question was, what would you have done differently? Well, what do you mean? It's perfect.
Yeah, exactly.
It's 100%.
Yeah, exactly. Have you not been on RottenTomatoes.com lately, people?
That's what we like to call Minnesota nice.
Yes.
That thing.
Exactly.
Well, I'm going to get back to the film.
It's like an audience full of my parents.
Great.
Nice.
Well, this film centers around characters that are auditioning for an SNL type show. This was a really accurate representation of SNL. Did you have to get permission for that, or did you get any help from SNL?
I read all the books.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a pretty well documented show. I mean, when we were preparing for the movie, there was a museum exhibit in New York of the history of SNL with a replica of the set. So we went, me and my production designer and my DP, cinematographer, went over and just sort of studied it. And
it was insanely close.
We tried to
even the announcer. It's Saturday night.
Well, we just tried to make it, and it's not. I always like to point out it's in homage to it. I mean, it's a great show. I'm in awe of the people who work on it. I know a lot of the people who work on it. It's a marvel of a show, and it's sort of the brass ring of improv comedy and of comedy, and so that's sort of what it's meant really to represent something. So the accuracy is just to make it feel close.
Was there any negative feedback from anybody within SNL?
Not that I know of. Yeah, it's been pretty good.
What would have you done
far.
differently?
There's that glass half empty.
What would you have done differently?
I'm kidding. I'm joking. All right, moving on. So, Ben Stiller's in this film.
He makes a cameo.
Yeah. And one thing about him,
spoiler alert,
Yeah,
all
were we
over the
supposed to say
place.
that?
that
Even
doesn't
the
give anything away.
tuxedos
That
are a
doesn't give anything away.
spoiler
That's true.
alert.
Let's just cancel the interview. It's not going to work. All right. So Ben
That's
Stiller's in this
from
film.
Minnesota talking.
Yeah. And he makes a cameo, and I love his cameos because like Extras and Curb Your Enthusiasm, he's in those shows. And whenever I've seen him do cameos, he kind of like makes himself look bad, which I love. Like in those two shows, he acts like a total dick, total jerk, and
that extra scene is amazing.
yeah, he's like, I made kickball or I made dodgeball, like talking about how great of a person
he goes
he is.
like, my movies have made $1.5 billion.
Yeah. So he's like the worst person ever in their shows, which is great. I love it. And in your film, he's not that extreme.
Yeah,
I mean, he comes off as kind of like the Hollywood type.
Yeah, those guys are kind of awkward with him.
Yeah. So what's it like to work with him, and does he kind of push for that persona?
Well, yeah, it's this awkward scene, if people don't know it, where they meet Ben Stiller because he's hosting Weekend Live that week, and it's just awkward, and they don't say the right thing, and it's sort of just based on my own life experiences of meeting people who I admire and having it just go terribly. I remember I met John Hamm once at a party, and he was like, I really enjoy your comedy, and I was like, you don't have to say that. And he was like, I know I don't have to say that. And I was like, I want to hide under a rock.
Nice.
And so that's sort of what that was inspired by.
If you're gonna get somebody to do the awkward humor, who better than Meet the Parents?
It's unbelievable.
Yeah, Ben Stiller in that whole movie, he came in
perfecting
that.
He came in and just knocked it out of the park in every take. And I mean, he's one of the greats. He's unbelievable.
Yeah, it was
We're
cool.
very lucky.
Some of the cast members took improv before shooting. I know one of them was Jillian Jacobs. Yes, excuse me. Who is also on Community, one of our shows on CW.
Sure.
How much of the film was actual improv?
It's surprisingly written for a film about improv. You know, I wrote probably 10 or 12 drafts, and I would have readings at my house and try to make it better and better and better. And then on the shoot day, you just go, you know, whatever comes out is what we want. You know, whatever feels most truthful. And, you know, because you want, like, films that I love are films like the movie Once I love, because it's so real feeling that you don't even know after a while what's real and what's improvised and what's written. I like being sort of tricked by movies, and that's sort of what I intent was. And you know, the other intent is just to make a movie that people laugh and cry and laugh and cry and hopefully sort of talk about for a long time.
Yeah. Well, you definitely couldn't tell. I mean, there was like the scenes with the improv.
Yeah, that's why I asked. 'Cause
so real.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the hope.
Yeah, so you did a good job there.
Thanks.
And I don't know if you noticed, I did notice you taking a couple glances here at my Jerry Springer mug.
Oh yeah.
And I mean,
What's
it's
that all
beautiful, and it's
about?
autographed.
It's signed,
We have
yeah.
Jerry Springer on our channel, so
Wow.
yeah, so we have to hook up. If you want one, let me know. But anyway, one thing that in my binging 24/7 the last couple days of you in general,
Yeah.
one thing that I heard that I thought was great was you mentioned that in like a lot of comics, when at their shows, they will only sign their merch.
Yeah.
But you kind of you're against that. You've made some statements like, I'll sign anything.
true,
So some
yeah.
people have taken it to the next level.
Yes.
Is that, what kind of things have you signed?
Well, yeah, I've signed babies.
Really?
Should have brought my baby.
Yeah, I've signed.
Next time.
You know, I signed people's shirts, people's notebooks, people's hat. I'm trying to think of anything that would
People's
be.
Jerry Springer mugs?
Well, you know what I signed?
Not-
Jerry Springer's rights. I've signed boxes of Cinnamon Toast Crunch
Nice.
because, because I have a joke on my first album about Cinnamon Toast
Okay.
Crunch. How you don't. It's a little bit like crack, where you don't buy it. You don't. I forget the joke exactly, but you know, because it's 10 years ago. But it's like I can't. Oh, basically, it's like I can't buy Cinnamon Toast Crunch in the daytime because it'll be empty by the next morning. It's like crack. Like you don't buy it for some point in the future. You buy it when you want it, and then
Yeah.
you fall asleep in the tub. Or
Perfect.
something
Makes
like
sense.
something
Yeah.
like that.
Well, back to the mug. I was thinking the only thing that could approve the Jerry Springer mug is if you also signed this. Is that possible?
I will, but I might I might write something disparaging about Jerry Springer
That's cool.
on the mug.
Yeah, that's fine.
totally
I mean,
fine.
he's
You're
cool
okay with that, yeah.
The rest of my wardrobe is actually back here, my top hat, and which doubles as a magic hat and has a marker inside.
Oh,
my
wow.
goodness.
Sharper there.
There we go.
The Sharpie.
So
Wait, I thought these were tuxedos,
here's
not
a-
magician costumes.
Well,
Here's what
I
I read.
figured kill two birds with one stone, you know? I'm actually doing a show afterwards if you guys want to stick around. All right, let's see what do we have here for
we'll
Jerry
do a
Springer?
little close up. We'll do a little close up
close
with
up
the
on this
camera.
Clyde?
I'll bring it in. I'll walk it in.
Cameraman Clay is
camera.
this guy's a pro, so
So what I
feel
wrote.
free to.
Tell me when you're good.
Ooh.
I wrote. It says Jerry Springer already, and then I wrote has ruined America.
Nice. He actually was here with us at the State Fair last year, and he basically said the same thing.
Yes, he did.
So
Yeah.
he's aware.
He is, but does he still do it?
Well, I think he's cashing big checks, and that makes it. You kind of let things slide a little bit.
Well, one of the things that the movie is about, actually, I signed my name on the
Awesome.
back. One of the things the movie's about, speaking of Jerry Springer, is about
You see
these
that at home?
characters. You know, these characters are really struggling with the idea of like what success is, and that they might not be successful in the way that they thought that they might be. And I feel like one of the things that in America, in the America Jerry Springer has created. I feel like our ideas of success are so constrained to that exposure equals success, as opposed to making something good or helping people or affecting people in a positive way. And so I don't know, the culture of that stuff I think is not great. That's why, you know, one of the things we're doing is we're doing these free improv workshops with the Brave New Workshop and the Huge Theater. And that's what I was there this morning. I always say that when I speak to improv groups is, you know, you guys have the ability in Minneapolis, or if I'm in Phoenix or San Francisco, you guys have the ability here to make something that's the best improvised, best written, best performed, most topical, timely, affecting improvised play in the world for 20 people or 50 people or 200 people.
Yeah.
And that's much more powerful than performing, than being on a sort of a mediocre sitcom being half watched by 7 million people.
I think that's what I liked. Another thing that kind of hit close to home with the movie was that fact right there. Somebody who, at a young age, thought about trying improv, but was worried I wasn't going to be successful at it.
Sure.
So watching that movie was really helpful to see that, everybody kind of has their different style, and you may not grow to be on a show like Saturday Night Live, but it's still about like having fun and being a part of a group.
Absolutely.
And all that. So,
Yeah.
So that's really great that you're doing the workshops. I mean, what do those entail, kind of?
Well, this week we have Gavin Spieler, who's one of our coaches. Some weeks we have Liz Allen, who's one of our coaches, and they just do, scene work and warm-up exercises and things like that. But Gavin and Liz are two of the best in the country. I mean, Liz wrote a book called Improvising Better that is, I think, my favorite book about improv.
Cool. Well, as we wrap this up, the last thing we wanted to mention, what you said was awesome, and we just want to see if maybe your actions could back it up a little bit here. So we were wondering if you could possibly do a scene with us.
He's had enough of it.
I'm
No,
so
I would just
broken at this point from my travels this week
Okay.
that I feel like I'm not properly.
Yeah.
You already got
I
the
don't.
bug.
I don't think
I know,
I'm
I'm pushing it
properly
now.
warmed up and energetic to create anything.
I will
with you
change the
guys.
question to
This-
this. What advice would you leave us with for people that are interested in getting into improv?
Well, my advice would be go to the Huge Theater or the Brave New Workshop, and take a class and see what those guys are all about. Because I think the rules of improv apply so much to life, and I think that's why the movie is universal. Is say yes, and it's all about the group, and don't think, just try things, And I think that's those are, even if you don't end up being an improviser, those are good things to try out.
Cool. All right.
All right.
Well, Mike, thanks for being with us, and
Thank you.
check out Don't Think Twice in theaters August 5th.
The Uptown.
That's right.
Perfect.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Sorry to put you on the spot there.
Sorry if we
Yeah.
went over a little bit on time there. Thank you.
Could we take one picture for social media? Awesome.